The alien laughed, a cruel gurgling sound as the human pulled out the ancient revolver. But that laughter turned to screams as the gun fired, blasting smoking holes through the alien's body. "Welcome to Binar Prime, human. I hope you've come prepared to discuss the terms of your species' surrender," Cygnus said, his iridescent feathers shimmering under the lights of the luxurious conference room. The alien's smirk was condescending as he looked down at Henry Parker, the human diplomat. Henry could feel the suffocating weight of the alien's technological superiority pressing down on him. The human's face remained calm, but inside he was seething. He knew that if these negotiations failed, humanity would be wiped out or enslaved by the ruthless Binar. This was their last chance. He set his small, unassuming case on the metal table, the click echoing through the room adorned with advanced alien technologies. "Actually, I'm here to negotiate a peace treaty, one that will benefit both our peoples," Henry replied, keeping his voice level. He knew the odds were stacked against him. The human race needed a miracle. Cygnus scoffed, his feathers ruffling in a display of superiority. "Peace? Your primitive species stands no chance against our advanced weaponry. Your surrender is inevitable." Henry's hand moved to the case, flipping it open to reveal an old human revolver nestled inside. Cygnus and his guards took one look at the primitive weapon and burst out laughing, a grating sound that scraped along Henry's nerves. "Is this a joke? You bring a relic to a negotiation?" Cygnus asked between chuckles, his guards snickering behind him. Henry picked up the gun, the cool metal a comforting weight in his hand. He smiled, a brittle expression that didn't reach his eyes, and said, "This relic, as you call it, has a story to tell. A story that might change your perspective on our primitive species." The fate of the human race hung in the balance. Henry knew that if he failed here, there would be no second chances. He needed to make this arrogant alien understand the true power and potential of humanity, or else they were all doomed. "Very well, human. Regale us with your tale, but know that it won't change the outcome of this meeting," Cygnus said, leaning back in his chair with an amused expression. Henry met the alien's gaze, his eyes gleaming with a hint of defiance. "We'll see about that." Henry's gaze swept over the assembled Binars, taking in their skeptical expressions. He could tell they were struggling to believe that a primitive species like humans could have outsmarted a technologically superior race. But he knew the truth, and he was determined to make them see it too. "You see, when the Zorgans first arrived on Earth, we were thrilled. They promised us technology beyond our wildest dreams, a chance to join the galactic community as equals. But not everyone was convinced." Henry's voice was steady, his eyes distant as he recounted the events of that fateful year. Jack Reacher, a former military man turned private investigator, had his doubts from the start. He didn't trust the Zorgans, and he made it his mission to uncover the truth. He spent months gathering evidence, piecing together the clues that pointed to a sinister plot. Henry paused, his fingers tightening around the grip of the revolver. One night, Jack finally got the break he needed. He followed a group of Zorgon officials to a secret meeting where he overheard their true intentions. They planned to subjugate humanity, to use our own technology against us, and turn us into a slave race. Cygnus leaned forward, his feathers ruffling with interest. "And what did your Jack Reacher do then, human? Surely he realized he was outmatched, that he stood no chance against the Zorgan's superior weapons." Henry shook his head, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "That's where you're wrong, Ambassador. Jack knew he had to act fast, but he also knew that he couldn't do it alone. He rallied a small team of trusted allies, each one armed with nothing more than a handful of ancient firearms like this revolver." He set the gun down on the table, the metal gleaming dully in the light. They infiltrated the Zorgon embassy, catching the aliens by surprise. The Zorgons had advanced weapons, sure, but they had grown complacent, secure in their technological superiority. They never expected a group of humans to pose a threat. Henry's eyes locked with Cygnus's, a glint of challenge in their depths. But Jack and his team proved them wrong. They used their wits and their skills, combined with the element of surprise, to turn the tables on the Zorgons. In the end, they captured the alien leadership and exposed their true intentions to the world. Cygnus frowned, his feathers bristling with agitation. An impressive feat, human, but surely an isolated incident. What does it prove? Henry leaned back in his chair, his expression calm and confident. It proves that humanity is more than just our technology, Ambassador. We have a strength that goes beyond mere weapons and gadgets. It's a strength born of our spirit, our determination to survive and thrive no matter the odds. He picked up the revolver again, turning it over in his hands. This gun is a symbol of that strength. It represents the ingenuity and courage that have carried us through countless challenges, from the Zorgon invasion to the many other threats we've faced throughout our history. Cygnus's feathers ruffled as he processed Henry's words, his beak curling into a sneer. Months, you say? And yet your species still clings to these ancient relics. He gestured dismissively at the revolver. Surely you must realize the futility of your position. Henry met Cygnus' gaze unflinching. You still don't understand, do you, Ambassador? It's not about the weapons, it's about the spirit behind them. The colonists at Proxima Centauri B fought with everything they had, not because they thought they could win, but because they refused to surrender their freedom. They believed in something greater than themselves, and that belief gave them the strength to persevere. Henry's voice grew more impassioned as he continued. In the darkest hours of the battle, when all seemed lost, the colonists rallied around a single powerful symbol, the flag of Earth. They raised it high above the ruins of their settlement, a defiant gesture in the face of their alien oppressors. And that simple act galvanized them, gave them the courage to keep fighting, even as their numbers dwindled and their supplies ran low. Cygnus leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. And what of the Kralons? Surely they would not have taken kindly to such a display of defiance. Henry nodded, his expression grim. You're right, Ambassador. The Kralons redoubled their efforts to crush the human resistance. They sent in wave after wave of shock troops, each one more brutal than the last. The ground shook with the impact of their artillery, and the sky burned with the fire of their ships. But still the colonists held on, fighting tooth and nail for every inch of ground. Henry's voice softened, taking on a reverent tone. In the end, it was the sacrifice of a single human that turned the tide of the battle. A young soldier, barely out of training, took it upon himself to infiltrate the Kralon command ship. He fought his way through the alien defenders, using nothing but his wits and a handful of ancient grenades. And when he reached the ship's reactor core, he detonated his explosives, taking the entire vessel with him. Cygnus's eyes widened, his feathers standing on end. A suicide mission? You expect me to believe that a single human could have such an impact? Henry smiled, a sad, knowing smile. Believe what you will, Ambassador, but the facts remain. The destruction of the Kralon command ship threw their forces into disarray, allowing the human colonists to mount a final, desperate counterattack. They drove the aliens back, securing a narrow victory that would go down in the annals of human history as one of our greatest triumphs. Henry pauses, letting his words hang in the air. The conference room falls silent, the only sound the faint hum of the advanced alien technology surrounding them. Cygnus's eyes narrow, his gaze fixed on the ancient revolver resting on the table between them. You speak of trust and goodwill, human, the Binar ambassador says, his voice low and measured. But what guarantee do we have that your species will not turn on us, as you have done to so many others in the past? Henry meets Cygnus's gaze unflinching. I understand your concerns, Ambassador, but the story of Sarah Thompson and the Binar Emperor is proof that humanity has changed. We are no longer the violent, warlike species we once were. Henry reaches out and picks up the revolver, the metal cool against his skin. This weapon represents our past, yes, but it also represents our future. A future where humans and Binars can coexist peacefully, as equals. Cygnus leans forward, his feathers rustling. And what exactly are you proposing, human? Henry sets the revolver back down on the table, his eyes never leaving Cygnus's. I propose a new treaty, one that goes beyond mere peace. I propose an alliance between our species, a partnership that will benefit us both. Cygnus scoffs, his beak twisting into a sneer. And why should we agree to such a thing? What can humanity possibly offer the Bynnar Empire? Henry smiles, a glint of something in his eyes. We may not have your advanced technology, Ambassador, but we have something else, something that has allowed us to thrive in the face of adversity. We have our spirit, our determination, and our ability to adapt to any situation. Henry stands, his posture straight and proud. Imagine what we could accomplish together, Ambassador. Human ingenuity combined with Bynnar technology. It would be a force to be reckoned with. Cygnus rises to his feet, his feathers bristling. You speak pretty words, human, but words are not enough. You must prove your intentions with actions. Henry nods, his expression serious. I agree, Ambassador, and I am prepared to do just that. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small device, placing it on the table next to the revolver. Cygnus eyes the device warily. What is this? Henry taps the device, and a holographic display springs to life, filling the room with shimmering light. This, Ambassador, is a sign of our commitment to this alliance. It contains the schematics for a new type of propulsion system, one that could revolutionize space travel as we know it. Cygnus leans in, his eyes widening as he takes in the complex diagrams and equations. This is, impressive, human. But how do we know it will work? Henry smiles, a hint of pride in his voice. Because it already has. Our scientists have been working on this technology for years, refining it in secret. And now we are ready to share it with you. Cygnus looks up, his expression unreadable. And what do you want in return, human? Henry meets the Bynnar's gaze, his eyes unwavering. Peace, Ambassador. A chance to work together, to build a better future for both our species, and perhaps in time, even friendship. Cygnus's iridescent feathers bristle as Henry's words hang in the air, a palpable challenge to the Bynnar Empire's dominance. The ambassador leans forward, his eyes narrowing. You speak boldly, human, but your words are empty threats. The Bynnar Empire has conquered countless worlds, crushed innumerable species beneath our talons. What makes you think humanity will be any different? Henry meets Cygnus's gaze unflinching. He picks up the ancient revolver, the metal cool against his skin. This weapon, Ambassador, is more than just a relic of our past. It's a symbol of our resilience, our determination to fight for what we believe in, and right now we believe in our right to exist as a free and independent species. Cygnus scoffs, his beak twisting into a sneer. And what do you intend to do with that primitive weapon, human? Shoot me. My guards will cut you down before you even have a chance to aim. A small smile plays at the corners of Henry's mouth. He shakes his head. No, Ambassador, I have no intention of shooting you, but I do intend to send a message. In a swift, fluid motion, Henry raises the revolver and fires a single shot into the air. The sound is deafening in the enclosed space, echoing off the walls and causing the Bynnar guards to flinch. They immediately raise their own weapons, ready to strike. But Henry is already lowering the revolver, a wisp of smoke curling from its barrel. That was a warning shot, Ambassador, a reminder that humanity will not go quietly into the night. We will fight for our survival, with every weapon at our disposal, no matter how ancient or primitive they may seem. Cygnus rises to his feet, his expression a mix of anger and fear. You dare threaten us, human? You dare challenge the might of the Bynnar Empire? Henry holsters the revolver, his gaze steady and unwavering. I dare, Ambassador, because I know that humanity will never surrender, never submit to tyranny or oppression. We will fight with every ounce of strength and courage we possess until our last breath. Cygnus takes a step back, his feathers quivering. Then you have sealed your fate, human. The Bynnar Empire will crush your species, and your precious Earth will be nothing more than a footnote in our history. Henry smiles sadly, shaking his head. We shall see, Ambassador. But know this, even if we fall, even if the Bynnar Empire succeeds in conquering us, we will never truly be defeated. For as long as a single human heart beats, as long as a single human voice cries out for freedom, we will continue to fight. And one day, perhaps long after you and I are gone, humanity will rise again, stronger and more united than ever before. With those final words, Henry turns and walks out of the conference room, leaving a stunned and shaken Cygnus in his wake. The ancient revolver, still warm from its single shot, rests heavily in its holster, a tangible reminder of humanity's unbreakable spirit and unyielding determination to survive no matter the odds. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.